Premium setup down the pan, and if you're anything like me, you were lucky enough to get out 11 men this game week. Hi guys, I'm Nymfria and welcome back to the home of FPL videos. Well, it's been another challenging game week of missing or injured players, and I unfortunately was on the brutal end of the rotation injury stick. Let's take a look at how I got on in game week 8 before delving into my team selection ahead of game week 9. Sanchez, my guy, in a week where I needed you to step up, you delivered with that Super 6 yet again. If at some stage you want to add upon your 2 saves though for a bonus point, 23.9% of all owners will be mightily grateful. But this week, however, I'll happily take those 6 points. Thankfully, my defence was not to be outdone this week, and I have to admit it's that defence that saved my bacon. My newcomer, Cancelo, was bought in for sure. Thankfully, I survived Pep Roulette this week. He started and bagged a clean sheet for 6 points towards my team total. He was part of a -4, but Shaw blanked and got 0 points, so it definitely aided me, especially as Cancelo was a little lucky not to get any attacking returns with his 3 shots, 2 in the box and 1 on target. Let's just hope he survives the Pep Roulette going forward. Trent was back and boy was I happy to see him after risking keeping him in my team. Attacking wise, he was off the boil with 2 shots and 1 attempted assist. It's kind of low by his standards, however, he delivered with a clean sheet, and that's the core need from any defender, so pretty happy with that. And finally, in defence, before my auto subs come in, something amazing happened. For the first time this season, I played Livramento and he got me some actual points. Like, actual points. Usually he only scores points on the bench and nothing when I play him. So on a week like this, I'm incredibly grateful. Unfortunately, the one blot in my defence is Semedo. It looked for a time that Wolves may keep their clean sheet, however they didn't. I didn't choose to play Semedo, so from a managerial position, I made the right call. It's just very frustrating he couldn't get a little more to help boost me off of the bench. In midfield, we have a disaster. No Rafinha, no Jota, Benrahma not delivering. Mbeumo came in to fund Cancelo in defence. Annoyingly, I was between selling Greenwood and Jota for that move. I chose to sell Greenwood based on the fixtures. Of course, that meant that Greenwood scored and Jota didn't even make it onto the pitch. Nim's luck on that one. However, despite him not returning, I am happy with Mbeumo. He was so unlucky not to score against Chelsea, hitting the woodwork twice against them. Looked so good. Just have to take that one on the chin and hope that he was the right long-term better pick. The only midfielder to do anything for me was King Mo. Guy is just another level. What a goal that was against Watford. Thankfully I captained him for his tasty goal and an assist for 26 points. Cheers, Mo. Up top, like last week, it didn't get much better. Nothing to report here. You can see how awful it is. I hope Lukaku is about to turn his life around is all I can say on that one. So with all of that, I got 59 points, a big improvement from last week, thankfully, but 1 point shy of my safety 60 score. Wow, try saying that in a hurry. Another red arrow, albeit a small one, and I now sat at 277,145th. Nothing I could have done any better here managerial-wise, except selling Jota instead of Greenwood, but let's see how that works out long term. Of my wildcard drafts, only 2 would have got me marginally better points this game week by means of Vardy in one and Son in the other. But for me this week, my 3 top scorers were sensational Salah with 26 points as my captain, and while most of my defence delivered, I'll pick out Can-Do Cancelo as my newcomer and Livramento for actually delivering in my starting 11, both bagging their clean sheet 6 points. Cheers, lads. Moving on to game week 9, and this is how I'm currently lining up. As I said earlier, depending on which wildcard draft I had gone for, if I had played it, I wouldn't have been much better off. So I'm not feeling the need to really hit the button this week either as it stands, especially as I already have a headache on who to play from my current setup. This team gets another week, for now at least. Barring any major injury or rotation surprises, of course. So I have 1-3 transfer, and while I have a couple of options, I could roll, and with 1.3 million in the bank, I could reassess my team ahead of game week 10. However, rolling would depend on a few things. I would need some more news on Rude Boy. He is in training and looks to be back, but recording this before the midweek fixtures, so hopefully that will help clear things up a little bit on Rudiger. I don't want to go into that Norwich fixture without any Chelsea defence if I can help it. They will be highly owned and in some cases even doubly owned, so I could do with some cover really. If Rude Boy is looking good, I need some news on Rafinha and Jota as to if I can make a luxury transfer this game week. My luxury options this week would be Semedo to Chilwell, and that would look a little something like this. Little bit unsure about benching Livramento and benching Jota. I guess we'll need to see on whether Jota starts midweek and go from there on that one. Or I could do Jota for an Everton midfielder, which would look a little something like this. Again, I'm not really sure on the Jota situation, so this one is a bit more of a, he plays midweek, plays 90 minutes, and is not really looking like he's going to be playing on the weekend again type situation here. And this gives me some cash in the bank. The only other one I'm considering is Richardson to Hwang, which would just mean hopefully my third forward spot would actually be getting some minutes, which doesn't seem to be happening at the moment with Richardson, unfortunately. And in game weeks like game week 8, it's been a big disadvantage. However, I think of the three options, I prefer the Chilwell one. This season, he's had 5 shots, 4 shots on target, 5 shots in the box, and 3 attempted assists, grabbing 2 goals. So if he continues to play, he could be epic. However, Jota could be a serious issue now Firmino is back and firing. I will need a bit more time on this decision for sure. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you, Nym fam. Captaincy is on Lukaku at the moment. Despite his recent form, the hope is Norwich could be his comeback game. However, it is very tempting to go Salah on recent form. We've seen how shaky United defence can be as an ex-Shaw owner, so this one may go down to the wire. Little bit nervous on whether Lukaku may get rested at Norwich, so I think I'm going to be flip-flopping until the last minute, but at the moment it's on Lukaku. Don't really see me changing it yet, but let's see what happens nearer the deadline. And lastly, moving on to the trending transfers this week, using Fantasy Football Fix data, I'll delve into the trending transfers ahead of the next game week so you can see who's likely to rise and drop in price, as well as gauging the bandwagons at the time of recording this. So let's take a look at the players in and out ahead of game week 9. Of the goalkeepers, Mendy is the trendiest goalkeeper in ahead of game week 9 after his epic performance against Brentford, with 81 plus 1,000 purchases. Raya is the next trendiest with 21 plus 1,000 buys. De Gea is the most transferred out goalkeeper with over 24,000 sales due to his current form. The next highest out this week is Lloris with 23 plus 1,000 managers selling on the Spurs man. Of the defenders, Alonso is leading the way out for sales this week due to rotation with over 184 plus 1,000 managers jumping off of the Chelsea man. Rudiger is the second most transferred out because of injury with 148 plus 1,000 sales. Chilwell is the trendiest defender in ahead of game week 9 after his cracking goal, making it 2 in 2 for him with 156,000 plus purchases. Azpilicueta is the second highest defender in with over 115,000 purchases. In midfield, Salah is the trendiest midfielder in, which is a surprise as who doesn't actually own him yet, with over 121 plus 1,000 purchases for the hottest player in the Premier League right now. Townsend is the next trendiest in this game week with around 105,000 buys. Pogba is the trendiest midfielder out with 114 plus 1,000 FPL managers moving on the United midfielder. Jota is equaling Pogba at the time of recording this as the most switched out midfielder this week with over 114 plus 1,000 sales. Up front, Ronaldo is the trendiest forward out so far ahead of game week 9 with 359 plus 1,000 managers moving on the United forward. Lukaku is still the the second most transferred out forward owing to his recent form, with over 88,000 sales. Vardy is the trendiest forward in this week due to consistency, with over 263,000 buys already. And weirdly enough, Lukaku is also still the second trendiest forward bought ahead of Gameweek 9 for the second week running, owing to his good fixtures, with over 87,000 purchases. And that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching. Please check out my sponsors of this video, fantasyfootballfix.com, and yet again, if you'd like to help me reach 7k, please like, share, hit that notification bell, and subscribe for more FPL videos. Until next time, Nymfria out.